Chapter 851 The Saint of Yao Qi will come over in a while, and I will blast her first. Ding. Consume an opportunity to peek into the secrets of heaven. The Saint of Yao Qi has a very peculiar hobby, that is, she likes strange people. Therefore, as long as you can show some special abilities, you can attract the attention of the other party. If the other party is interested, you can follow the other party very easily. As Yifeng's voice fell, the voice of the system rang from his mind. Huh? Like strange people? This is really a strange hobby. However, what kind of ability is considered a special ability? After hearing the system's words, Yifeng also frowned slightly, and then continued to issue orders. System, use the opportunity to spy on the secrets of heaven again, and check what special abilities the strange people that Yao Qi Saint used to like have. Ding. Consume one opportunity to spy on the secrets of heaven. There are 3 strange people that Yao Qi Saint has attracted. They are Liang Quan, who is born with supernatural power but thin, Zhou Long, who practices healing techniques but likes to study poisonous insects, and Song Yan, who has a strong understanding but always likes to study food. Small but born with supernatural power. Has the ability to save the dying and the wounded but likes to study poisonous insects. Has a terrifying understanding but does not use it in practice, but likes to study food. These guys are quite interesting. However, what special ability should I get to attract the attention of Yao Qi Saint? After hearing the system's words, Yifeng also lowered his head and pondered. Ding. Host, you are a super old man who doesn't follow the ordinary path. The general special ability does not match your identity. Just when Yifeng lowered his head to think, the voice of the system suddenly sounded from his mind. System, what kind of special ability do you think I should get to play with? Hearing the system's words, Yifeng also asked, curiously. Ding. Host, it's boring to say it, and you only need to consume 50 million waste points, and the system can help you solve this trouble. Hearing the system's words, Yifeng suddenly fell silent. The system is no longer the pure system at the beginning. It now has some old man attributes. And now, it wants to help me solve my troubles. I won't believe it even if I say there is no trap. However, what kind of special ability does it want to give me? Thinking of this, Yifeng also made a decision, that is, to hand it over to the system, because he really wants to see what kind of special ability the system will give him. 1 minute later. Ding. The special ability pill created by the system has been completed. Please check it as soon as possible. Soon, the voice of the system sounded from Yifeng's mind. It's worthy of being a system. It's really fast. Hearing the voice of the system, Yifeng also looked at the situation of the special ability pill with expectation. Hongtian pill, the product of the system must be a fine product. Taking this pill can burst out an extremely terrifying Hongtian fart. Reminder, the terrifying storm formed by the Hongtian fart can directly wipe out all Shintoists or beasts below the divine tribulation realm within a certain range. Fuck. What the hell is this? When the Saint of Yao Qi comes over, I'll blast her first? After checking the special ability pills that the system made for him, Yifeng was completely dumbfounded. He knew that the system was a bit stupid now, but he really didn't expect that the system would be so stupid. Moreover, the system helped him refine 10,000 such powerful thunder pills. Ding. Remind the host, Yao Qi Saint will arrive at the bombing area in 3 minutes, please take the thunderbolt in advance to prepare. Ding. Remind the host, if you take the thunderbolt one by one, it is a single shot, if you take a large number of thunderbolts directly, it is a continuous shot, so how you want to play depends on the host's mood. At this time, the system's prompt sounded from Yifeng's mind. This Nima also has single shot and continuous shot? Can it be understood that my body is equivalent to the gun body, and the thunderbolt is like a bullet? If I swallow one by one, I am a pistol, and if I swallow a handful, I am a machine gun? Hearing the system's prompt sound, Yifeng's mouth twitched directly. On the other side, I didn't expect that 100 years would pass so quickly. I don't know if there will be some new faces in this battle for the Tianjiao list. At this time, Yaoqi Saint, who was on her way, also smiled and talked to herself. It can be said that the Tianjiao battle, which is held every 100 years, is one of the things she is very interested in. Huh. That young man in the distance actually has the terrifying cultivation of the third peak of the divine tribulation realm. Moreover, he is also heading towards the direction of the divine domain city. Does that mean he is also going to participate in this battle of geniuses and compete for a place on the genius list? At this time, the saint of Yaoqi also noticed Yifeng in front of her, but when she noticed Yifeng's powerful cultivation, a look of interest appeared on her face. Saint of Yaoqi. You are the saint of Yaoqi. Seeing the saint of Yaoqi flying past him but ignoring him, Yifeng shook his head helplessly, and then he pretended to be surprised and exclaimed. Fellow Taoist. What's the matter? Seeing that the other party recognized her identity, the saint of Yaoqi did not react much. After all, she was the third-ranked girl of the heavenly pride list. It can be said that there are many people who know her in the entire God realm, but she doesn't need to know those people, because ordinary people are not worth knowing. Saint of Yaoqi. Are you going to the God realm city? Seeing that the saint of Yaoqi stopped, Yifeng also asked. Yes. I'm going to the God realm city. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. After that, the saint of Yaoqi was ready to leave directly. Wait a minute. Saint of Yaoqi, I'm also going to the God realm city. But I don't know the way very well, so can we go together? Seeing that the saint of Yaoqi was about to leave, Yifeng also asked tentatively. My fellow Taoist. I'm so sorry, I'm not used to traveling with others, so forget it. Upon hearing Yifeng's question, Yaoqi Saint directly refused. Although she was very interested in Yifeng, it didn't mean that she was willing to travel with him. Hey! It seems that I still have to use the thunderbolt pill. After all, I can only pretend to be poor if I stay by her side. Seeing that the other party directly refused, Yifeng shook his head helplessly, and then prepared to use the ultimate killer move. Chapter 852. This is not letting off steam, this is firing at me. Yaoqi Saint. Get out of the way. I can't hold it anymore. After swallowing a thunderbolt pill, Yifeng shouted directly at the Yaoqi Saint in front of him, and then turned his back, bent down, and prepared to fire. Fuck. How shameful. System, get out of here, I promise not to kill you. At this time, Yifeng, who was ready to fire, also yelled in his heart with embarrassment. On the other side, Yaoqi Saint, who had not walked far, heard Yifeng's strange words and stopped, and then looked at Yifeng behind with a puzzled look. What's his posture? Is he going to release the air? That's not right. If he wants to release the air, then why should he let me get out of the way? At this moment, seeing Yifeng's strange posture, the saint of Yaoqi also revealed a hint of doubt. Boom! At this moment, a deafening roar erupted from Yifeng's body, and then, a terrifying storm rushed directly towards the Yaoqi Saintess, not far away like an angry wind dragon. Stare. Seeing the terrifying storm that Yifeng burst out, and feeling the terrifying aura emitted by this storm, the Yaoqi Saintess's eyes were instantly widened in shock, and her eyes were filled with disbelief. She really didn't expect that the fart that Yifeng burst out could be so terrifying. This is not deflation. He is basically firing at me. After recovering from her shock, the Yaoqi Saintess quickly dodged to the side. Although this terrifying storm would not hurt her, this terrifying storm was after all burst out by Yifeng. If she didn't dodge it, then a good story would be spread in the god realm in the future, that is, she, the Yaoqi saintess, had been burst by someone's fart. Too scary. This fart is really too scary. It's no exaggeration to say that if a Shintoist below the divine tribulation realm encounters this terrifying storm, he will definitely be wiped out directly. Looking at the terrifying storm whistling past her, the saint of Yaoqi also muttered to herself, with fear on her face. Saint of Yaoqi. I'm so sorry. I just lost control of myself. I hope I didn't hurt you. At this time, Yifeng also came to the side of the saint of Yaoqi with an embarrassed look on his face, and then asked, with pretended concern. I'm fine. However, your airflow, how come it is so strong? Hearing Yifeng's question, Yaoqi saintess also asked with curiosity. I don't know either. Anyway, my airflow has been stronger than others since I was a child. Hearing the other party's question, Yifeng also started to talk nonsense seriously. Stronger? Are you stronger than others? It's just a little bit stronger. Hearing Yifeng's explanation, Yaoqi saintess smiled bitterly, but now she is more interested in Yifeng, because she feels that her team of strange people lacks a very representative person like Yifeng. This fellow Taoist. Don't you know the way to Xingyu City? In that case, let's go together. Then, Yaoqi saintess showed a sweet smile and directly invited Yifeng. Heh. Woman. You didn't want to go with me just now, but now that you realize how powerful I am, you are actively inviting me? Upon hearing the invitation from the saint of Yaoqi, Yifeng curled his lips, and then responded with a smile, Saint of Yaoqi, thank you for your help. In the dark. My lord is going to the divine realm city this time. Although he didn't call me, I must go with him. After all, something very interesting will happen at that time. Especially this Saint of Yaoqi. At this time, looking at Yifeng and Saint of Yaoqi in the distance, Yi Xiaoguo also talked to herself excitedly. Although she couldn't figure out anything about Yifeng, she figured out some things about Saint of Yaoqi, and those things were all related to Yifeng. Daoyu Yifeng. Besides your strong release, are there any other strong points? After chatting for a while, Saint of Yaoqi also looked at Yifeng with curiosity and asked. Is there any other strong point? Is this a question a girl should ask? How can I answer you? Hearing this question from Saint of Yaoqi, Yifeng was stunned. He really didn't expect that the other party would ask such a question. Daoyu Yifeng. Don't get me wrong. I'm not asking about that aspect. I mean, in terms of magical powers, skills, comprehension, etc., are there any other aspects that are more powerful? Seeing that Yifeng didn't answer for a long time, but looked at her with a strange look, the Saint of Yaoqi reacted immediately, and then hurriedly explained in a panic. So it's these aspects. Does being poor count? I feel that in terms of being poor, I am very powerful. After hearing the explanation of the Saint of Yaoqi, Yifeng rolled his eyes and then answered with a smile. You are very strong in poverty? Is this also something worth showing off? Hearing Yifeng's words, the Saint of Yaoqi also showed a touch of surprise. She really didn't expect that Yifeng would answer like this. By the way, I haven't seen the waste products refreshed today. After answering the question of the Saint of Yaoqi, Yifeng remembered this matter and then checked the waste products refreshed today. Today's waste product, Golden Jade Divine Dew ** a barrel Golden Jade Divine Dew, a special natural treasure in the battlefield of the Heavenly Tao. After taking it, you can rely on the special power contained in it to enhance the sea of consciousness and make your spiritual consciousness stronger. The waste product refreshed today is actually a natural treasure that can enhance the sea of consciousness. However, how can this thing be spent to make it more interesting? After checking the information of the waste products refreshed today, Yifeng also lowered his head and pondered. The other side. Wait a minute. If he is very poor, doesn't that mean he is very poor? Then if I use money to hit him, wouldn't it be easy to get him to join my team of strange people? At this time, Yaoqi Saint suddenly thought of something, and then a touch of confidence appeared on her face. After all, as the saint of Yaoqi Holy Land and the third-ranked heavenly lady on the Tianjiao list, her own financial resources are very terrifying. Daoyu Yifeng. What's wrong with you? Are you in any trouble? If you need my help, just ask. At this time, Yaoqi Saint also noticed that Yifeng was thinking with his head down at this time, and then asked with concern. Chapter 853. What's the matter? Are you using me as a beast? Nothing. I just have some garbage in my hand, and I'm thinking about how to deal with it. Hearing Yaoqi Saint's question, Yifeng also smiled and explained. You are already very poor, so what level of garbage do you have in your hand? I'm afraid that useless people who can't practice will shake their heads when they see it. And it's that kind of garbage, and you're still thinking about how to deal with it? What? Just throw it away. Are you afraid that others will grab it? Hearing Yifeng's explanation, Yaoqi Saint girl couldn't believe her ears for a moment. She really didn't expect that what Yifeng was worried about at this time was such a ridiculous thing. Wait a minute. The garbage in his hand may be a fighter among garbage in the eyes of us rich Shinto people, but in his eyes, it may be the kind of garbage that is useless to keep and a pity to throw away, so he is so entangled. And I am now trying to win some favor from him so that I can smoothly pull him into my team of strange people. Isn't this the time for me to show my ability? Thinking of this, Yaoqi Saint also had an idea, and then looked at Yifeng with a smile and suggested, Daoyu Yifeng, if you don't know how to deal with those garbage, why not let me help you deal with it? Help me deal with it? Is this okay? Hearing the suggestion of Yaoqi Saint, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise. What's wrong with that? It's just a matter of moving your hands. If you're worried that I can't handle it well, I can also handle it according to your wishes. Hearing Yifeng's words, Yaoqi Saint also responded with a smile, and secretly said in her heart, if you are reluctant to throw it away, then I will help you throw it away. This can not only kill boring time, but also win some of your favor. Why not do it? In the dark. This Yaoqi Saint is really reckless. She even dared to take the work of my lord. She really didn't realize the seriousness of this matter. Yi Xiaogua, who was following the two in the dark, was stunned after hearing what Yaoqi Saint said, and then showed a look of expectation and said to himself, there will be a good show next. On the other side. There must be many ways to lose this bucket of golden jade dew, but I haven't thought of it yet. However, there is a most direct way, that is to pour it out. But if I pour it out, it will be meaningless. If it was the saint of Yaoqi who dumped it, it would add some fun. Besides, she took the initiative to help. If she was hit, it would have nothing to do with me. Thinking of this, Yifeng made a decision directly, that is, to let the saint of Yaoqi help deal with it. Saint of Yaoqi. Then I'll trouble you. As he said that, Yifeng took out a wooden ladle from the system space and handed it directly to the saint of Yaoqi. Just deal with the garbage. But what does it mean to give me a wooden ladle for scooping water? Seeing the wooden ladle handed over by Yifeng, the saint of Yaoqi also showed a confused look, because she really couldn't figure out what the connection between dealing with garbage and a wooden ladle could be. Daoyu Yifeng. You don't give me the garbage that needs to be dealt with, but give me a wooden ladle. What does this mean? Then, the saint of Yaoqi looked at Yifeng with a puzzled look and asked. Saint of Yaoqi. I have a big wooden barrel that is 5 meters high and 2 meters in diameter, and it contains the water I use to wash my feet, face, and bathe. Whenever it is full, I will deal with it once, and the way to deal with it is to use this wooden ladle to sprinkle the water in the big wooden barrel onto the ground. It can be said that this is a strenuous job. And the question I was thinking about just now is whether I should change the treatment method, such as pouring it out directly. After all, it is really too tiring to throw it out one by one. But now it's good. With your help, I don't have to change the treatment method. Hearing the inquiry of the saint of Yaoqi, Yi Feng also explained in a serious voice. If I don't help, you are ready to pour it out directly. And now that I have my help, you are not going to do that? What's the matter, are you using me as an animal? After hearing Yi Feng's words, the face of the saint of Yaoqi darkened instantly. She really didn't expect that Yi Feng could do such a stupid thing. If she had known it would be like this, she would never help him even if she was beaten to death. Huh. After taking a deep breath, the saint of Yaoqi looked at Yi Feng and suggested, Dao Yu Yi Feng, although I don't understand why you collect the water you use to take a bath, wash your feet, and wash your face, I think it's better to pour it out directly. There's really no need to get it one scoop at a time. Why is it unnecessary? Saint of Yaoqi, maybe in your eyes, those waters are useless water. But in my eyes, they are all my youth. And throwing them one scoop at a time to the ground will just allow me to witness the passing youth. Hearing the saint of Yaoqi's suggestion, Yi Feng shook his head, and then he made up a story seriously. God damn, witness the passing youth? It's just the water you use to take a bath, wash your feet, and wash your face. What kind of water does it hold as a testimony to your youth? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi saint was stunned for a moment. She really didn't expect that someone could sublimate such dirty water to such a high level. Forget it. Since I have taken on this job, how can I, as Yaoqi saint, go back on my word? After adjusting her mentality, Yaoqi saint looked at Yi Feng and said, Dao Yu Yi Feng, I said that I will help you deal with it in any way you want, so you can take out your youth, and I will sprinkle your youth on the earth bit by bit. Okay. Then I'll have to trouble Yaoqi saint. After that, Yi Feng took out the large wooden barrel containing the golden jade dew from the system space. Bang! As the large wooden barrel fell heavily to the ground, a loud bang also sounded. Fuck! What a huge wooden barrel. I didn't feel much when I heard the description, but now I see it with my own eyes, it really scares me. And such a big wooden barrel, how long will it take me to scoop out the youth inside? She looked up at the huge wooden barrel in front of her, and then looked down at the small wooden ladle in her hand. It can be said that at this moment, the saint of Yaoqi was about to collapse. Chapter 854. You are poor, then what are we? Ants under the feet of the poor. Saint of Yaoqi. In order not to delay our journey, I will carry this big wooden barrel. And you just sprinkle it slowly on it. At this time, Yi Feng's voice sounded from the side. Hey. Okay. Then you carry it on the road, I will sprinkle it carefully. Hearing Yi Feng's proposal, Yaoqi saint sighed helplessly, and then responded. A moment later. What's the situation? What the hell is going on? The big wooden barrel is filled with dirty water, isn't it the extremely rare and expensive golden jade divine dew? When Yaoqi saint flew to the top of the big wooden barrel, opened the lid of the barrel and saw the golden jade divine dew inside, she was stunned. You took the wrong one. Dao Yu Yi Feng definitely took the wrong one. After recovering from her shock, Yaoqi saint was about to remind Yi Feng, but she suddenly thought of something at this time. No. Didn't he say he was poor? Then why did he have so much golden jade dew on his body? You know, the value of this big bucket of golden jade dew is probably worth hundreds of thousands of years of Yaoqi holy land. And such a terrifying wealth, can one person really have it? Thinking of this, Yaoqi saint directly jumped down from the big wooden barrel, and then looked at Yi Feng with a strange look. Yaoqi saint. What's wrong? Why are you looking at me like this? Seeing the Yaoqi saint who jumped down, staring at him, Yi Feng pretended to be puzzled and asked, "Who are you? What's your purpose in approaching me?" After hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi saint also revealed a solemn look, and then stared at Yi Feng and questioned. Yaoqi saint, what do you mean by this? Why don't I understand? At this time, Yi Feng also stopped, and then pretended to be puzzled and continued to ask. Dao you Yi Feng. You got the wrong bucket. The big wooden bucket is not filled with dirty water you use to take a bath, wash your feet, or wash your hands, but precious and expensive gold and jade do. How could a poor man like him come up with so much gold and jade do? Seeing that Yi Feng was still playing dumb, the saint of Yaoqi exposed Yi Feng's disguise, without hesitation. Saint of Yaoqi. Are you deliberately mocking me? I know, I'm poor, so poor that I can only use this broken golden jade dew to take a bath and wash my feet, but this is not a reason for you to laugh at me. You think I don't want to use better water to take a bath and wash my feet, but I really have limited ability. Hearing what Yaoqi saint said, Yi Feng also pretended to be angry, and said, I deliberately laugh at you? You are so poor that you can only use this broken golden jade dew to take a bath and wash your feet? And you have limited ability? Hearing what Yi Feng said, Yaoqi saint couldn't believe her ears for a while. She really didn't expect that Yi Feng could say such a fierce word. Dao you Yi Feng. You mean, you didn't take the wrong bucket? And the water you usually use for bathing and washing your feet is this golden jade dew? After recovering from her shock, Yaoqi saint frowned and looked at Yi Feng and asked. Yes. I usually use this broken golden jade dew to take a bath and wash my feet. Besides, I also know that poor people like me have definitely reached the bottom of the poor, but I have no choice. Hearing the question from the saint of Yaoqi, Yi Feng also responded with unwillingness. You have reached the bottom of the poor? Then what are we? Ants under the feet of the poor? Hearing Yi Feng's words with billions of critical damage again, the saint of Yaoqi didn't know how to respond for a while. I don't believe it. I can't believe your nonsense at all. After recovering from the shock, Yaoqi saint shook her head and said. But my master has told me this since I was a child. He said that the things I use are worthless garbage outside. And if people outside see the things I use, they will definitely laugh at me. At this point, Yi Feng also paused, and then continued, Yaoqi saint, I'll tell you the truth, in fact, I just came out of the mountain not long ago, and it was my master who asked me to wait for you here. He said you will take me to the Divine Realm City. If you don't take me, let me kill you, and after killing you, you will take me. At this time, Yi Feng directly made up an identity for himself as an ignorant young man who had never been in the world, so that he could push any defeat he had next onto that fictitious master. What? You just came out of the mountain not long ago? And the reason why you are here is also specially arranged by your master? He even calculated that I will definitely take you to the godly domain city? Hearing the lies made up by Yi Feng, the saint of Yaoqi also showed a touch of shock, and then, a picture emerged in her mind. An unknown forbidden place, in the forbidden area, there is a mysterious and unknown terrifying existence, and an ignorant boy who has never been in the world. As the ignorant boy gradually grew up, he finally said goodbye to his master, walked out of the forbidden area alone, and came to this big world full of novelty. Fuck. No way. I just made it up, casually, this woman wouldn't really believe it? Seeing the appearance of the Yaoqi saint at this time, Yi Feng also revealed a touch of surprise. He originally thought that the other party would definitely have some doubts, and then continue to ask some questions. But now it seems that he doesn't need to continue to make up. So that's it. Fellow Taoist Yi Feng, your master asked you to go to Xingyu City, is there something? Yaoqi saint, who had completely believed Yi Feng's nonsense, also asked, curiously, at this time. Yes. Master did tell me one thing. Hearing the question from Yaoqi Saint, Yi Feng suddenly became serious. Fellow Taoist, Yi Feng, can you tell me about what your master told you to do? Seeing Yi Feng's serious face, the gossipy heart of the saint of Yaoqi was instantly raised, and then she looked at Yi Feng expectantly and asked. Of course you can tell me. After all, this matter is nothing. Seeing the expectant look on the saint of Yaoqi's face, Yi Feng also said aloud with a smile. Fellow Taoist, Yi Feng. Then, what did your master tell you to do? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi Saint girl couldn't wait to ask. Chapter 855. Do you think breakthrough is bullshit? You can do it as soon as you say it? Play. My master only told me one thing, that is to play. Play as you like. Seeing Yaoqi Saint girl's eager eyes, Yi Feng also responded with a smile. Your only mission this time is to play? Is it so comfortable? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi Saint girl was stunned at first, and then showed a touch of envy, because every time she left the Holy Land, her master would give her some tasks. Although there are simple tasks, it is definitely not as good as playing directly. The Saint of Yaoqi. Actually, when I came out, I also begged my master, hoping that he would order me to do something. But he just didn't order me to do anything, just let me play. Isn't that infuriating? At this moment, Yi Feng's voice rang out again from the side. Your master doesn't assign you tasks, and you're not happy? Moreover, you actually begged your master so desperately, hoping that he would assign you some tasks. Is this something a normal person can do? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi Saint lady couldn't believe her ears for a moment, especially when she heard Yi Feng's last sentence. She really wanted to refute directly. I don't know if your master's behavior is irritating, but you are talking like this now. It's really irritating. Huh. After taking a deep breath, Yaoqi Saint lady looked at Yi Feng and asked, Dao Yu Yi Feng, isn't it good to travel around in a relaxed state without any mission? No. Originally, I was playing all day in that place. Now I finally came out, but I am still allowed to play. I'm almost bored to death by playing like this all the time. Hearing Yaoqi Saint lady's words, Yi Feng also complained in a very Versailles way, because he found that Yaoqi Saint lady seemed to be very envious of his state, so he must pretend. In that place, play. Now I'm out, play. What's the matter, don't you need to practice? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi Saint curled her lips in disdain, because she didn't believe what he said at all. After all, she noticed that Yi Feng had a powerful cultivation base at the peak of the third level of the divine tribulation realm. At this age, even if he was a genius, he couldn't have such a cultivation base without practicing hard. Dao Yu Yi Feng. If you have been playing all the time, how did you get such a powerful cultivation base? Then, Yaoqi Saint looked at Yi Feng with a playful look and asked him aloud, while secretly thinking in her heart, I'll let you pretend, let's see how you can make it up this time. I don't know. Sometimes I was sleeping and suddenly I broke through. Sometimes I was watching the fun and suddenly I broke through. Sometimes I was playing and suddenly I broke through. Anyway, I broke through from time to time, and then I got my current cultivation base without knowing it. Hearing the question from the Saint of Yaoqi, Yi Feng answered seriously. It can be said that this time, he really didn't make up a story. Can I break through while sleeping? Can I break through while watching the fun? Can I break through while playing? Do you think the breakthrough is just a fart? Hearing Yi Feng's nonsense explanation, the corners of Yaoqi Saint's mouth and eyes twitched directly. She really didn't expect that Yi Feng could talk nonsense to such an extent. It's no exaggeration to say that with just these words, let alone people, even dogs would be so angry that they would fart twice before leaving. The Saint of Yaoqi. Or, let's hurry up. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't be able to spend all my youth before dark. At this time, Yifeng felt that the conversation was almost over, so he directly reminded the saint of Yaoqi. Damn it! How could I forget this? Hearing Yifeng's reminder, Yaoqi saint also hurriedly persuaded, Dao Yu Yifeng, I tell you, the value contained in this bucket of golden jade divine dew is extremely terrifying, we can't just throw it away. Huh? These broken water, my master said, in your eyes, are garbage among garbage. How can this garbage become valuable? Hearing Yaoqi saint's words, Yifeng also pretended to be puzzled and asked. Crazy. Yaoqi saint heard this, the whole person was going crazy. She even couldn't help but want to say to Yifeng, your master has high standards, that's his business, but can he not take us with him? These garbage among garbage are top-quality treasures in our eyes. Yaoqi saint. I really didn't expect that you are so kind in your heart. Just when Yaoqi saint was about to explain this situation, Yifeng's voice sounded again from the side. Huh? I am kind in my heart? Where did you find it, why don't I know? When the saint of Yaoqi heard this, she was once again confused. Although she was not a big villain, she was not a good person in this world of gods where the weak are the prey of the strong. So, when Yifeng suddenly said this, she was really confused. Saint of Yaoqi. You deliberately exaggerated the value of the golden jade dew in order to prevent me from feeling inferior because of my poverty, right? Actually, it's not necessary. This time, I have already prepared myself to be looked down upon by others. Then, Yifeng continued to speak out. Who deliberately exaggerated the value of the golden jade dew? Also, you are now a super rich man who is so rich that you can't even say that you are a poor man? If you keep saying that, how can I live? After listening to Yifeng's words, the saint of Yaoqi was really going crazy. After all, a super rich man pretending to be poor in front of a poor man, which poor man can stand it? Wait a minute. Since his understanding of poverty is already deeply rooted, why can't I deal with the problem from a different angle? At this time, the saint of Yaoqi suddenly thought of something, and then the whole person became excited and stood up, because if her idea could succeed, then she would really become a rich woman. What's wrong with this woman? Is she dumbfounded by my Versailles-style bombardment? Noticing that the saintess of Yaoqi suddenly stood there and smiled foolishly, Yifeng also frowned and muttered to himself. Dao Yu Yifeng. I didn't expect that you would find out even though I hid so deeply. You are right, I did deliberately exaggerate the value of the golden jade dew, and the purpose is just as you said, I am afraid that you will feel inferior because of poverty. After calming down, the saintess of Yaoqi smiled and said this to Yifeng. Chapter 856, The Saint of Yaoqi Who Doesn't Play by the Rules. What's going on with the saint of Yaoqi? She's starting to play by the rules? Hearing this, Yifeng also became interested, because he really wanted to know what the other party was going to do next. Fellow Taoist, Yifeng. This kind of trash among trash is not common in our place. So, after I help you shed your youth, can you give me some trash like this? At this time, the saint of Yaoqi spoke again. This Yaoqi saint lady's brain works very fast. Seeing that I have been acting in a Versailles way, she did not persuade me, but followed my ideas. She even wanted to get some hard work fees in this unconventional way. It should be said that she is quite playful. After hearing what Yaoqi saint lady said, Yifeng finally understood the other party's intention, and then asked with a forced smile, Yaoqi saint lady, what use do you have for this kind of garbage among garbage? It's for disgusting people. If I encounter an enemy in the future, I will wash my feet with this broken golden jade dew first, and then directly splash the foot-washing water on the enemy's face. It's foot-washing water again, and it's garbage among garbage. This is simply a double blow to the enemy. Hearing Yifeng's question, Yaoqi saint lady also made up a lot of nonsense in a serious manner. I'm just talking nonsense. You're also talking nonsense? You're so good at playing, does your master know? Hearing this, and looking at the serious look of the saint of Yaoqi, Yi Feng suddenly felt that he saw his own shadow in her. Interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. If you play like this, you won't be bored along the way. After recovering from his shock, Yi Feng couldn't help laughing. It can be said that he quite likes the saint of Yaoqi's unconventional play, because it will add a lot of fun. So that's it. Then after you finish sprinkling my youth, I'll give you a small bucket. Then, Yi Feng looked at the saint of Yaoqi and promised. It's done. He really agreed. Doesn't that mean I'm going to be a rich woman soon? Seeing Yi Feng agreed, Yaoqi saint was completely excited. She really didn't expect that this time when she went to Xinyu City to participate in the Tianjiao battle, she would have such an unexpected gain. After a moment. You thought you made a profit. But in fact, I got a wave of wasteful behavior rewards for free. Seeing the saint of Yaoqi madly splashing his youth on the big wooden barrel, Yi Feng also muttered to himself with pride. Night falls. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing today's wasteful product. Reward 5 million wasteful points. Reward Phoenix Purple Jade Fruit * 10,000. Ding. Congratulations to the host for triggering the wasteful behavior. Reward 10 million wasteful points. Reward Blue Bamboo Shanyang Fruit * 10,000. When the saint of Yaoqi finally splashed all the large bucket of golden jade divine dew and took the divine ring with a small bucket of golden jade divine dew handed over by Yi Feng, the system's reward prompt sound rang in his mind one after another. Huh. These two kinds of divine fruits are actually among the top 10 divine fruits in the divine world. Although a Shintoist will not gain any benefit from eating them, their deliciousness is enough to make any Shintoist drool. After checking the conditions of the two kinds of divine fruits, Yi Feng also said to himself with anticipation, it's time to rest, so take them out and try them. I want to see how delicious they are. Dao Yi Feng. Youth is over, we have to hurry up. Just then, the voice of the saint of Yaoqi sounded from the side. Huh? Hurry up? But I have to rest at night. If I can't rest well at night, I will be tired during the day. Hearing this, Yi Feng frowned and told his situation. Dao Yi Feng. I didn't say we were going to travel at night. Maybe I didn't make it clear. What I meant was that our youth is over. Let's have a good rest at night. Let's hurry up and travel tomorrow morning. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yaoqi Saint was also stunned, and then hurriedly explained, and at the same time thought to herself, you are the god of wealth, whatever you say is what it is. What are you doing? What is this gentleman doing again? Is he really going to sleep? Seeing Yi Feng take out a lot of low-grade divine crystals to build a crystal bed, and then put a comfortable and soft cushion on the crystal bed, this scene directly stunned Yaoqi Saint. She really didn't expect that Yi Feng was actually preparing to sleep instead of sleeping in a state of cultivation. At the same time, she also understood one thing, that is, in addition to being used for cultivation, the divine crystal can also be used to build a bed. Yaoqi Saint. I have a bit of rubbish divine fruit, I don't know if you dislike it or not. If you don't dislike it, let's eat it together. When Yi Feng sat on the comfortable and soft spiritual crystal bed, he looked at Yaoqi Saint and asked. Are you sure it's a rubbish divine fruit, instead of the super invincible and amazing god fruit? Hearing Yi Feng's question, Yaoqi Saint could not help but laugh. It can be said that after a day of understanding, she has already understood one thing, that is, the garbage in Yi Feng's mouth is not garbage at all, but a treasure of the super invincible and amazing level. Dao Yi Feng. I don't mind at all. Let's eat together. Then, Yaoqi Saint hurriedly responded. After a while. Is this Fingluan purple jade fruit? That is. Blue bamboo mysterious yang fruit? These two kinds of god fruit are the top god fruits in the god realm. When Yaoqi Saint saw the two kinds of god fruits that Yifeng took out, a look of surprise appeared on her face. Although she had guessed that the god fruit that Yifeng took out was definitely not a garbage god fruit, she really didn't expect that the two kinds of god fruits that the other party took out were actually the top god fruits in the god realm. You should know that the 10 top divine fruits in the god realm are all produced from the Tiandao battlefield. It can be said that the 10 top divine fruits that flow into the god realm from the Tiandao battlefield every year are limited, because the difficulty of obtaining them is really too high. This also leads to the fact that the price of each top divine fruit is extremely expensive, therefore, even the overlord level forces may not have much inventory. And this kind of expensive and rare top-level divine fruit, in front of her, there are actually 100 of each, which really shocked her. Yaoqi Saint. Don't stand there, eat it quickly. I have plenty of this rubbish divine fruit. Seeing that Yaoqi Saint didn't react for a long time, Yifeng also smiled and reminded her. Chapter 857 Nightmare dominated by top-level divine fruit. Daoyu Yifeng. These divine fruits, can really be eaten casually? Hearing Yifeng's reminder, Yaoqi Saint also showed an incredible look and asked aloud. You know, she has lived for thousands of years and has only been lucky enough to eat 5 top-level divine fruits. Yaoqi Saint. You really don't have to care about my feelings anymore. I'm already very happy that you don't dislike these rubbish divine fruits. So, as long as you want to eat, just eat whatever you want, I'll take care of it. Hearing what Yaoqi Saint said, Yifeng also responded with a smile. I really didn't care about your feelings. I said this from the bottom of my heart. After hearing Yifeng's words, the saint of Yaoqi showed a bitter smile. Fellow Taoist, Yifeng. Since you said so, I won't take care of your feelings in the future. Then, Yaoqi Saint responded with a casual tone. After a moment. Slow down. Yaoqi Saint, eat slowly. These are all yours, no one is competing with you. Seeing Yaoqi Saint disregarding the image of the saint and constantly stuffing the divine fruit into her mouth, Yifeng was directly frightened by this scene, and then he immediately reminded her. Daoyu Yifeng. You don't know. On weekdays, I'm tired of those top-notch delicacies and divine fruits. And now I suddenly eat a bite of this rubbish divine fruit, I don't know why, it feels quite delicious, so I hurriedly ate 2 more bites. Hearing Yifeng's reminder, Yaoqi Saint stopped, and then explained with embarrassment. Did you eat 2 more bites? If your mouth wasn't big enough, I'm afraid you would stuff these 200 divine fruits into your mouth. Seeing the saint of Yaoqi with her mouth full of divine fruit, Yifeng shook his head helplessly, and then said, Saint of Yaoqi, if you like to eat, then eat slowly, I will make sure you are full. Daoyu Yifeng. I am not bragging. Making sure I am full may be a little difficult. Because, my appetite is terrible. To put it bluntly, no matter how many divine fruits you have, they are not enough to fill my teeth. Hearing Yifeng's words, Yaoqi Saint also pretended to be competitive, because in her opinion, even if Yifeng still had these 2 top-level divine fruits, it would not exceed 1,000 at most, and this was all her high guess. Is this woman so good at eating? Is she born in the year of the pig? Hearing Yaoqi Saint's words, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise, and then said nothing, and directly handed over a divine ring. What does it mean to suddenly hand me a divine ring? Seeing Yifeng handing over the divine ring, Yaoqi Saint also showed a hint of doubt, but she quickly took the divine ring. Is it fake? There are tens of thousands of divine fruits in this divine ring? However, when the saint of Yaoqi saw the 19,800 top divine fruits in the divine ring, she was stunned. She really didn't expect that Yifeng would have so many top divine fruits in his hand. Eat it. All the 19,800 rubbish divine fruits in this divine ring are yours. If you're still not full, I'll get more for you. Don't worry, I said, I'll keep you full, and I'll definitely keep you full. Seeing the saint of Yaoqi, who was stunned, Yifeng said with a forced smile. Enough, enough. Dao Yu Yifeng, these rubbish divine fruits are enough to fill me up. No need to take more. After hearing what Yifeng said, Yaoqi saint finally came to her senses, and then she responded in a panic, fearing that if she was a second late, Yifeng would take out another magic ring, and she would definitely go crazy. Yaoqi saint. Then you can eat slowly, I'm going to rest first. By the way, you must eat it all, although they are all garbage divine fruits, but we can't waste them. At this time, Yifeng also said to Yaoqi saint with a smile, and then he lay on the comfortable spiritual crystal bed to rest. Must eat it all? Are you trying to eat me to death? Hearing what Yifeng said, Yaoqi saint was stunned. She didn't expect that Yifeng was really going to let her eat all these top divine fruits. What should I do? I miscalculated. I really didn't expect that he would have so many top-level divine fruits in his hands. And now I am asked to eat them all, even if I am the reincarnation of a divine pig, I can't do it. At this time, looking at the more than 19,000 top-level divine fruits in the divine ring, the saint of Yaoqi also revealed a trace of despair. If she had known that Yifeng would have so many top-level divine fruits in his hands, she would not have said such pretentious words even if she was beaten to death. There is no other way. I can only use that trick. But I have to find a place where no one is. After thinking of a solution that was not a solution, the saint of Yaoqi also gritted her teeth and then flew away. The next morning. Huh? Where is the saint of Yaoqi? When Yifeng woke up and found that the saint of Yaoqi was not here, he also muttered to himself with a puzzled look on his face. System. Use the opportunity to spy on the secrets of heaven once, and check where the saint of Yaoqi has gone and what she is doing. Then, Yifeng directly gave the system an order. Ding. Consume the opportunity to spy on the secrets of heaven once. The saint of Yaoqi is eating 2 kinds of top-level divine fruits 30 miles east, and she is eating and vomiting at the same time. As Yifeng's voice fell, the voice of the system sounded from his mind. Fuck. I just said it casually yesterday, but this woman really took it seriously. And, in order to eat all the top-level divine fruits, she even vomited. How can she be so good at it? After understanding this situation, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise, and then flew towards the direction 30 miles east. The other side. Ugh. Ugh. At this time, the saint of Yaoqi was under a big tree, holding the trunk and vomiting crazily. She even had tears in her eyes. No one knew how she survived that night. Crazy. I'm really going crazy. Although this top-level divine fruit has no special help for the Shintoists, it is a divine fruit after all. Even if I use the divine power in my body, it is difficult to refine it quickly. In the end, I can only solve this problem by inducing vomiting. But I ate it all night and vomited all night. I really can't stand it. After vomiting, Yaoqi Saint also talked to herself with tears in her eyes. Chapter 858. This is a tribulation. Do you think it's a vacation? Buzz. 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 At this moment, a strange sound rang out from Yaoqi Saint's arms. Master. You are looking for me? After taking out the sound transmission stone and finding out that it was her master, Yaoqi Saint also immediately activated the sound transmission stone and asked first. Xiao Yu. If nothing unexpected happens, you should have arrived at the Divine Domain City now. How is it, this time the Tianjiao gathers together, can you see any unfamiliar new faces? As Yaoqi Saint's voice fell, a middle-aged woman's voice rang out from her mind. Master. Something happened to me on the way, so I haven't arrived at the divine domain city yet. But if nothing unexpected happens, I will definitely arrive before this evening. Upon hearing the master's question, Yaoqi Saint immediately responded. Something happened? What happened? Hearing this, Chu Hongyue, the Saint Lord of Yaoqi Holy Land, also asked with some concern. A few minutes later, a strange young man farted and created a terrifying storm. If you hadn't dodged quickly, you would have become the only genius in the god realm who was farted. Then the other party claimed to be a poor guy who came out of the mountains, but he was carrying rare and expensive top-level treasures. And just yesterday, you helped him spill a large bucket of golden jade divine dew, and he also gave you 20,000 top-level divine fruits, so that you could eat enough at once. As a result, you ate all night and vomited? Xiaoya, are you sure you are not kidding me? After hearing these things, Chu Hongyue also asked out loud, and her tone was full of disbelief. Master, I didn't lie to you. Everything I said is true. If you don't believe it, you can use the designated space portal and come and see it yourself. Hearing what the master said, the saint of Yaoqi also explained with a wry smile on her face. Several distinguished guests will come to the Holy Land today. So, I must stay in the Holy Land. As for you, if what you said is true, then facing this mysterious young man, you can only make friends with him, and never make an enemy of him, understand? Soon, Chu Hongyue's voice rang out again in the mind of the saint of Yaoqi. Master. Disciple understands. After hearing this, the saint of Yaoqi also responded immediately. Saint of Yaoqi. What are you doing here? It's really hard for me to find you. Just then, Yifeng's voice came from not far away. Master. He's here, let's not talk about it first. Hearing Yifeng's shout, the saint of Yaoqi first explained the situation, and then directly cut off the connection of the sound transmission stone. Daoyu Yifeng. Why are you here? Seeing Yifeng coming over, Yaoqi Saint asked awkwardly, because with her current position as the center, there were traces of her vomiting next to all the trees within a radius of 10 meters. Nothing. I just didn't see you when I woke up, and I thought you had an accident. Now that I see you are okay, I am relieved. By the way, should we hurry up? At this time, Yifeng ignored some special traces next to the surrounding trees, and looked directly at Yaoqi Saint and asked with a smile. Yeah. Hurry up. Try to get to Xingyu City before dark. Seeing that Yifeng did not mention the special traces next to the surrounding trees, Yaoqi Saint also secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and then responded with a smile. On the flying artifact. In the evening, we will be able to reach the Divine Domain City. When I get to the Divine Domain City, I only need to squander money 3 times in front of those geniuses to complete the mission. By then, I guess the mission rewards will definitely include rewards for breaking through the realm. I don't know how those geniuses will react to the sudden appearance of the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud. Thinking that he might be able to attract the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud in the Divine Domain City, Yifeng also talked to himself with anticipation. Fellow Daoist Yifeng. Your current cultivation is at the peak of the 3rd level of the Divine Tribulation realm. Then we will face the 4th heavenly tribulation cloud. I wonder what preparations you have made. At this time, the saint of Yaoqi beside her also opened a topic. However, this topic was not picked up casually by her, but she really wanted to know what treasures this poor man who didn't know he was a super rich man had prepared for himself to resist the heavenly thunder tribulation. Saint of Yaoqi. You asked a good question. After all, we Shintoists only have 9 chances to survive the tribulation. Then before each tribulation, this preparation work is extremely important. First, I will prepare a rocking chair for myself, a rocking chair that is very comfortable to lie on. Then, I will prepare some food and wine for myself, and what needs to be noted here is that the amount of food and wine prepared must be sufficient. Hearing the question from the saint of Yaoqi, Yifeng also responded with a serious face. Prepare a rocking chair? Prepare food and wine? That's a tribulation, do you think it's a vacation? Hearing Yifeng's words, Yaoqi Saintess couldn't believe her ears for a moment. You know, she has survived the 4th level of heavenly thunder tribulation, so she knows best what type of treasures are most suitable. So, she wanted to listen to Yifeng's preparation ideas first, and then give him some reminders. But she never expected that Yifeng would not play by the rules, which made her confused. Daoist Yifeng. Can I ask why you prepared a rocking chair, delicious food, and fine wine? After all, these things are useless when you are going through the tribulation. After recovering from her shock, the saint of Yaoqi looked at Yifeng with a puzzled look and asked. Going through the tribulation is enjoyment. Since it is enjoyment, you must prepare a rocking chair and enjoy it while lying down. As for why you need to prepare delicious food and fine wine, then I have to ask you a question first. At this point, Yifeng also paused, and then asked directly, Saint of Yaoqi, do you know what the greatest pain of life is? Going through the tribulation is enjoyment? That is a life or death situation, and in the end, you say it is enjoyment? Are you crazy, or is Tian Dao Jian crazy? Also, what question are you asking? Does this question have anything to do with the question I asked you? Hearing Yifeng's question, Yaoqi Saint Lady also revealed a hint of doubt, then shook her head and said, Fellow Daoist Yifeng, I don't know what it is. Chapter 859 I'm taking you on the road, but you want to send me off directly? Yaoqi Saint Lady. Since you can't guess, then I'll just tell you directly. The greatest pain in life is that you fall asleep out of boredom before you have completed the tribulation, and finally you finish it in a daze, and you have no memory of it when you wake up. You know, we only have 9 chances to complete the tribulation. If you fall asleep, you won't be able to tell others how you felt when you completed the tribulation. Do you think it was painful or regretful? So, in order to avoid this, you must prepare delicious food and wine. Only in this way can you avoid falling asleep out of boredom. After hearing what Yaoqi Saint said, Yifeng also explained in a serious tone. What's the expression of the saint of Yaoqi? Don't you believe what I said? Seeing the saint of Yaoqi's look at this time, Yifeng also revealed a helpless look, and secretly thought, if I talk nonsense, she will believe it, but if I tell the truth, she won't believe it. How can she play so well? Wait a minute. Since she doesn't believe it, why don't I let her experience it for herself? Thinking of this, Yifeng smiled, and then looked at the saint of Yaoqi and asked, Saint of Yaoqi, what is your current cultivation level, and how long will it take to break through? Daoyu Yifeng. My current cultivation is at the peak of the 5th level of the divine tribulation realm, and I can break through at any time. However, facing the 6th level of the heavenly tribulation cloud, I still have a lot of things that are not ready, so I will not break through in a short time. Although she didn't understand why Yifeng asked this question, the saint of Yaoqi still answered. No need to prepare. In the next 2 days, I may break through to the 4th level of the divine tribulation realm. When the time comes, you can break through with me. Then we can have a good drink together. Hearing the answer of the saint of Yaoqi, Yifeng's eyes lit up, and then he said what he thought. You don't know how to get to the divine domain city, and then I will take you on the road. But now, you actually want to send me on the road directly? Is there anyone who repays kindness with enmity like you? Hearing Yifeng's words, the saint of Yaoqi was directly frightened, and she felt that the other party was definitely crazy, otherwise, how could a normal person say such a thing? Daoyu Yifeng. Let's hurry on. As for the matter of drinking while overcoming the tribulation, let's talk about it later. After calming down, the saint of Yaoqi looked at Yifeng and said this with a smile. After that, she didn't open any more topics and hurried on with peace of mind, because she felt that she and the other party were not talking on the same channel at all. Still don't believe it? Then we can only prove it with facts at that time. As for now, let's check the wasteful products refreshed today. Seeing that the saint of Yaoqi no longer chatted with him, Yifeng shrugged helplessly, and then checked the wasteful products refreshed today. Today's wasteful product, Jiuyao Snow Lotus *100,000 plants. Jiuyao Snow Lotus, a special natural treasure in the battlefield of Tiandao, which can be taken directly or used to refine pills. Huh? This is just a little information again? Isn't this forcing me to ask people? Checking the wasteful product information refreshed today, it was just this little, and Yifeng looked at the silent saint of Yaoqi with a helpless look. Huh? Why is he looking at me like this? Noticed that Yifeng looked at her with a strange look. For some reason, the saint of Yaoqi felt a little flustered. No. I can't ask her. After all, I am now pretending to be a poor man. How can a poor man not understand the garbage in his hands? Thinking of this, Yifeng gave up the idea of asking the saint of Yaoqi, and then directly ordered the system, use the opportunity of peeping into the secrets of heaven to check the specific situation of Jiuyao Snow Lotus. Waste Palace Master Huishan, you obviously know the way to know those treasures. Why do you always come to ask me? Even when I was puffing in the dream hut, you had to break in, just because I am a useless person. Do you think my psychological endurance is stronger than others? Jiuyao Snow Lotus, growing in the extremely cold land in the battlefield of Tiandao, the power contained in each mature Jiuyao Snow Lotus is enough to freeze a peak strongman of the 9th level of the Divine Tribulation realm for 1,000 years. If a Shintoist or a divine beast wants to absorb the power of Jiuyao Snow Lotus, he needs to swallow it bit by bit. If after swallowing, the divine power in the body cannot suppress the power of Jiuyao Snow Lotus, it will also be completely frozen for an uncertain time. It can also be used to refine pills. As Yifeng finished speaking, a stream of information about the 9-glory Snow Lotus emerged from his mind. Fuck. A mature 9-glory Snow Lotus can actually freeze a 9th level peak powerhouse in the Divine Tribulation realm for 1,000 years? If I don't ask, but just take one out and eat it directly, won't it turn into a popsicle? After learning about the situation of the 9-glory Snow Lotus, Yifeng also revealed a touch of surprise. After all, the information about the 9-glory Snow Lotus given by the system at the beginning only said that it can be taken directly, but it didn't say that it should be taken a little at a time. The 9-glory Snow Lotus given by the system is definitely mature. Then such a powerful 9-glory Snow Lotus, one is given 100,000 plants, how can I defeat it? Then, Yifeng lowered his head and pondered. On the other side. Why does fellow Taoist Yifeng look familiar? At this time, noticing Yifeng's look of lowering his head in contemplation, Yaoqi Saintess also frowned slightly, because she always felt that this scene had a sense of déjà vu. Dispose of garbage. That's right. When fellow Taoist Yifeng was thinking about how to dispose of a large bucket of golden jade divine dew, he was in this state of contemplation. Suddenly, Yaoqi Saintess thought of the way Yifeng lowered his head in contemplation yesterday. It can be said that the scene and the current scene are exactly the same. If my guess is true, then what kind of treasure will fellow Taoist Yifeng be preparing to dispose of this time? Thinking of this, Yaoqi Saintess looked at Yifeng with curiosity. Chapter 860 Xiaoya, do you underestimate your master too much? A moment later. Fellow Taoist Yifeng. Are you worried about disposing of garbage again? Seeing that Yifeng had no reaction for a long time, Yaoqi Saintess could not suppress her curiosity and looked at Yifeng directly to ask. Yes. I have to deal with some garbage every day, it's really brain-consuming. Hearing the question from the goddess of Yaoqi, Yifeng also responded with a helpless look on his face. It's very brain-consuming? It's just a physical job, how can it be related to the brain? Hearing Yifeng's words, Yao Qi Saint also revealed a trace of doubt, and then directly said, fellow Taoist Yifeng, no matter what kind of garbage it is, just throw it away directly? If you find it troublesome, I can do it for you. After saying that, Yao Qi Saint's face showed a trace of expectation. After all, there is hard work pay for work, and the value of the hard work pay is far beyond her imagination. If possible, she would like to follow Yifeng every day and help him throw away the garbage. This woman got the hard work pay once and is a little addicted? Seeing the expectant look on Yao Qi Saint's face, Yifeng also smiled helplessly, and then said, Yao Qi Saint, although they are all garbage, it would be too boring to throw them away directly. If there is a more interesting way to deal with them, why choose to throw them away directly? To deal with garbage, you have to play with it? Although the garbage you mentioned are all top-level treasures, there is no need to play with it so fancy. Hearing Yifeng's words, Yao Qi Saint's face was instantly filled with black lines. She really didn't expect that Yifeng wanted to play so many tricks in dealing with garbage. Fellow Taoist, Yifeng. What kind of garbage are you going to deal with today? How about I help you think of a way to deal with it? Then, Yao Qi Saint looked at Yifeng and asked. 9 radiant snow lotus. Today I want to deal with a batch of 9 radiant snow lotus. Hearing Yao Qi Saint's question, Yifeng answered directly. What? The garbage you want to deal with is actually 9 radiant snow lotus? What did it do that you treat it like this? Hearing the words 9 radiant snow lotus, the saint of Yao Qi exclaimed with her eyes wide open, because the forbidden technique of their Yao Qi holy land, 9E mysterious ice technique, requires this top-level cold attribute treasure to cooperate with cultivation in order to succeed. And her master has been searching in the Tiandao battlefield for tens of thousands of years, and has experienced countless life and death, and has only obtained 7 9 radiant snow lotuses, and only 2 of them are mature. Saint of Yao Qi. It's just some garbage, why are you so excited? Seeing that the saint of Yao Qi had such a big reaction, Yifeng was also stunned, and then pretended to be puzzled and asked. No, nothing. It's just this broken 9 radiant snow lotus, my master usually likes it very much. So, I had such a big reaction when I saw you were going to deal with it. Hearing Yifeng's question, the saint of Yao Qi also hurriedly explained. That's right. Fellow Taoist Yifeng, nowadays, garbage like 9 radiant snow lotus is rarely seen outside. So, can you treat it less? I want to bring some back to my master. Then, the saint of Yao Qi looked at Yifeng and asked, tentatively. Take less. But if you can help me treat it, I can give you some. After hearing what the saint of Yao Qi said, Yifeng proposed an idea. Okay. Then I'll think of a way to treat it now. Hearing Yifeng's proposal, Yao Qi Saint also showed a touch of excitement, then walked aside and took out the sound transmission stone directly. She was going to explain it to her master, and then they would come up with a more interesting way to deal with it together. Yao Qi Holy Land. Huh? Why did Xiao Yu contact me suddenly? Didn't I tell her that I was going to entertain a few guests? Chu Hanyue, who was entertaining a few guests, frowned slightly after finding that the sound transmission stone had reacted, but thinking of the mysterious young man next to her apprentice, she still stood up and walked aside, and then directly activated the sound transmission stone. Xiao Yu. I'm entertaining a few guests. If you have anything to say, hurry up. Chu Hanyue was the first to speak. Master. What the hell is entertaining? If the two of us, the master and the apprentice, can help Yi Xiao get this done, then you can take off directly. After hearing Chu Hongyue's words, Yao Qi Saint said excitedly. Xiaoya, what do you mean? After hearing this, Chu Hongyue asked with a serious face, because she knew very well that her beloved disciple would never joke with her, which proved that the other party definitely had an opportunity to let her take off directly. Master. Young Master Yi. No, fellow Taoist Yi Feng, it's the mysterious young man I was talking about. He seems to have a large number of 9 radiant snow lotus in his hand. And he wants to deal with a batch now, but the requirement is that the way of dealing with it should be more interesting. As long as the two of us can handle this matter well, he will give us some 9 radiant snow lotus later. If you have those 9 radiant snow lotus, wouldn't you be able to continue to practice the 9 mysterious ice art? As long as you can practice it successfully, then looking at the entire God realm, there are still a few people who will be your opponent. Hearing Chu Hongyue's question, Yao Qi Saint also hurriedly explained the situation briefly. The mysterious young man even has 9 radiant snow lotus in his hand? Moreover, as long as we help him deal with this matter, he will give us some later? Hearing this, Chu Hongyue's breathing became rapid, because, as Yao Qi Saint said, if she really has enough 9 radiant snow lotus, she will definitely be able to practice the forbidden technique 9 mysterious ice art successfully. Once she succeeds in practicing, she will really take off. Xiaoya. Ask him how many 9 shining snow lotuses he wants to get rid of first. Also, how many can he give us later? After trying to calm herself down, Chu Hongyue spoke to the saintess of Yao Qi. A moment later. Master. I've asked. But before I say anything, you must adjust your mindset, because the number I'm going to say next may scare you. Soon, the trembling voice of the saintess of Yao Qi rang out in Chu Hongyue's mind. Xiaoya. Are you underestimating me too much? I tell you, whether he wants to get rid of 10, 100, 1,000, or even 10,000, I will smile and will never panic. Chu Hongyue curled her lips in disdain after hearing what the saintess of Yao Qi said, and then responded.